Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm having a nice weekend. Happy Celtic New Year. Celtic New Year was on Friday this week. Let's see who we have in chat. We have Sugar Kitty. Meow. Meow to you, Sugar Kitty. It is good to see you, good sir. Lisby. Cheers to you, Lisby. Hoping to hear all about Dingle. I am happy to share this is going to be fun. We're going to compare some of the new stuff to some of the old stuff, and we'll see if it's the new stuff is worth it. Hey, cheers, Amy O'Byrne. Good evening, Dingle Solon in the glass. That is what I'm starting with myself. Cheers, Peter White. It is good to see you. Cheers to Becker House. It is good to see you in here. Let me know in chat what you guys are drinking. Are you having a pour? Are you just having a coffee? You having some water? Don't forget to hit that like, hit that share, subscribe, all that fun stuff that YouTube likes us to do. Hey, cheers, Chris. Good morning. Lil and I have put aside a bottle of Causeway for you. Love you guys so much. Let me tell you, I do have a bottle sitting on my shelf with Spot on it for you guys that I brought back from Ireland. Hey, Debbie. Happy Celtic New Year to you too. I did not get to see you this weekend. So let me know if you guys have actually tried Dingle before. Dingle it's a distillery that's been around for a long time. We haven't visited the distillery, but we have been out to the Dingle Peninsula into the little town of Dingle. Really interesting area. If you go off the beaten path away from kind of the tourist spots, we went to a cute little pub called J. Curran's. If those of you who've seen the documentary An Irish Pub, it's one of the pubs featured in that documentary. Well, we went into it and they were all watching the hurling finals. I think it was Kerry Mayo, I think. And watching that, we noticed that they all speak Gaelic there. So they still celebrate a lot of the really old traditions. And Celtic New Year is one of those traditions. It's based on, 8 festivals of the Celtic calendar. And we're going to get into those. Now, the old series from Dingle used to have these batch series. And I still have some of batch 5 and 6. So we'll see how those compare to the new ones. But I'm going to go ahead and get started in the first pour. Like I said, let me know if you've had anything from Dingle Distillery, either something from the old series or something from the new series. I have 4 of the new, they're calling it the Wheel of the Year series. And it's based on a Celtic calendar of these 8 festivals. The first one is Dingle Solon. So this is a single malt Irish whiskey. This has been finished in Moscatel sherry casks. Now, the one good thing I do like about this, they did up the ABV. The ABV is 50.5% on this, which I think is higher. Yeah, it's a little higher than these older ones. But it comes in this really cool bottle with a pretty cool insert that talks about each festival. So Samhain, which everybody knows Samhain is October 31st. So Samhain is the day before Celtic New Year and signals, the beginning of winter. It signals that, fall is over, winter has begun. And on the box, it says Samhain, the festival that marks the beginning of winter, Celtic New Year. Traditionally, after sunset, towering bonfires were set ablaze in pairs and livestock driven between them, believing that the smoke possessed cleansing powers. Samhain has been celebrated in Ireland for 2,000 years and is still celebrated in Dingle. And all of these festivals are they're based around the seasons, the equinoxes, solstices, things like that. So I could tell you there's not much left in this bottle. It's a little bit, still kind of light in color. So we'll get into this one. I saw a couple more people pop in here. Cheers to you, Whiskey Nose. Hey, Marty. Hurling finals. That was in Wayne's World. It is interesting. That was kind of our first, we were there in 16, and that was our first exposure to hurling. And it was everywhere, all over the place. It was crazy. What to drink? What to drink? 21090 rye is close. Oh, I don't have any more. If you're talking about the well, it's which rye? I had the Still Austin. Yeah, that's gone. I drank a ton of those. You have a crushed stir Schwarzbier. I knew the second one. Oh, and you have enjoyed the Ardnamurchan. Is that how you pronounce that? That is a Scotch I've actually been wanting to pick up. Hurling is awesome. Hurling is really cool. It's really cool to watch. I've kind of gotten into more rugby than hurling, but I like watching hurling. Hey, cheers to you, Anthony. Anthony is going to be going live at 7:30. So we'll I'm trying to be wrapped up. Definitely I will be wrapped up by 7. Because at 7 o'clock, Kilco Whiskey Musings is celebrating his 900 subscribers. Oh, you have the Still Austin cast drink rye. Yeah, I drank that. Both of those 21090 Still Austin picks were so freaking good. I drank the heck out of those things. This one, it reminds me of like cherry cake, like cake with like a cherry syrup on top. Which, if you've ever had a whiskey from Dingle, I don't know if it's they're using the water in the ground, like a well water for a spring. So I don't know if it's the water or I don't know. It's something in their distillation, but they have a definite DNA. It's kind of like Stranahan's. When you're drinking single malt, if you put a Stranahan's in there, you know it's Stranahan's. So Dingle's kind of like that. Like if you put Dingle in a lineup of Irish whiskey, you could pick out the Dingle. They have a very, very definite kind of DNA to them. It reminds me the regionality of hockey is a sport, very specialized sport. That is very true. Hurling is definitely one that you don't see a lot outside of Ireland, but you see a lot of it in Ireland. I mean, they go nuts. We went through Mayo, and Mayo was in it, and we were driving through Mayo, and flags along the entire road. It was crazy. Thank you, Anthony. Yes, make sure we'll all be tuning in to Anthony at 7:30 tonight. Sugar Kitty, I have the Corbin Cash tube. I'm drinking that very slowly. The Still Austin, I bought more than one each. I only bought one because it was right before I was going to Ireland, so couldn't really spend a whole lot. 9:05 a.m. Monday morning, coffee in hand, talking to Austin. Oh, thank you. To put together a sample pack. Thank you. I would love to try more Australian whiskey. I have a Tasmanian one. I have not tried any Australian ones. I've tried a New Zealand. I think no. Is Belgrove, is that New Zealand or is that Australia? I can't remember. I remember the opening of the NBC Sports World and the hurling guy gets crumpled by 2 players hurling sandwich. Like Aussie rules football. Yeah, it really is. It really is. Pick out the Dingle. I don't know. I don't know better that could quite evoke an image. Yeah. But I mean, you know what I mean? It definitely I've got the Two Stacks did a Pillars of Creation. So they did a blend that was had some whiskey from Dingle Distillery, whiskey from Ecklinville, and whiskey from Cologne. And you could pick out the Dingle. You can tell that there is Dingle whiskey in there. And I kind of wish they'd have left a little less of it because it overpowers a bit. It really did. Hey, JH. Cheers to you. Belgrove is Tasmanian. Okay. All right. So, Chris, I have no Australian whiskey, but somehow I have 2 Tasmanian whiskeys in the house. I'll have to send you the picture of the other one. I picked that up. A friend of mine, acquaintance in Ireland, actually dropped that off for me in Belfast when I was over there. So this has a lot of sweetness from that sherry. I got more like cherry. Nose is more cherry. The palate is more kind of leaning into raspberry. Pretty big. Don't think Aussie rules are like that, but yeah. Hurling is different. And like I said, it's massive in Ireland. I mean, it's probably like, football is to us. And or baseball even. It's crazy. When those finals come on. Like I said, I enjoyed watching it. I haven't really gotten into it. Now, rugby, I get into. I watch Six Nations every year. Hey, cheers to you, Top Dog. Top Dog, I loved the pictures you have on Instagram of those sample boxes. Those are so cool. So we are trying, this is Dingle Samhain. Not Samhain, as Donald Pleasance called it in Halloween 2, but Samhain. And it is a holiday that is basically the night before Celtic New Year. So announcing, this is announcing the winter. The other thing I really like about this series, tell on the bottle, they have all the symbols from the calendar. So all 8. And you might hear my little dog being a pouty pants whining in the corner. Because apparently I didn't crack the door open enough for her to get in. Most Australian whiskey distilleries are in Tasmania and do single malt or rye. You know what? I think it's a single malt that I have downstairs. I'll send you a picture, Chris. You probably know that. I guarantee you probably know the distillery. Ever watch Rugby Sixes? I don't think so. Alrighty. I had to call the dog in. She was just having a meltdown over there. So this one it's really good. It is very sweet. If you like a sweeter whiskey, it does have quite a bit of red berry notes. It's got some maltiness to it. It's got a little bit of spice, not a whole lot. The description, which I read, read after tasting it, says that it's cinnamon and spice. It's not really that spice. I mean, it's just a little cinnamon, maybe. I get more nutmeg, but it could, I could get cinnamon, but it's not real spicy. It's more sweet than spicy. Oh, now you hear the dog. Yeah, I finally had to call her in because she was having a little hissy fit at the door. Takes me back being 12, like you and a few friends play together. Yeah, 7 until you're short a few. I've never played rugby, honestly. Good on you, because that's a tough game. It's really cool to watch those guys play. It's amazing. It's so fast paced. And if you've never watched Irish rugby, here coming up in February, March is every year is the Guinness Six Nations tournament, and it is top tier rugby, and it is intense. It is fun to watch, and it's on Peacock, I think. Pretty sure it's still on the Peacock channel. I did. I was a number 6 breakaway flanker. Oh, you played when you were a kid in Fiji. Oh, that is so cool. You remember the Friends episode when Ross played rugby? I know I've seen every freaking Friends episode, but it's been a while. I watched it. It was never one of my favorite shows. All right. We are going to get into the next one here. I'll wash out my cup anyway. I brought multiple, but before I forget, now on Thursday, if you saw my the post that I shared, and I'll share it again probably on Thursday. I'm going to be in a little competition against Shy Taste Spirits Girl, I think is her name, which is another Instagram channel. And I got asked to be in this blind tournament. So I've got 3 samples that I'm going to be going through, and no idea what it is. Although I could tell you from the color, only one of them I think is bourbon. The other 2, I don't know if it's Scotch. I'm probably screwed. But so I'm going to be practicing this week, but I will share everybody. So if you guys want to tune in and hopefully not watch me get my butt whipped, but hopefully I'll try to make a fair showing. But that is on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, just cracked the Tyrconnell 16 Oloroso Moscatel, letting it sit for a bit. I like that one. I still have a little left, although I've noticed the old Tyrconnell bottles, the corks seem to lose their seal after a while. And so I'm probably going to need to finish that before too long here. Hey, Donald. Cheers to you. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Donald, and you've probably had some whiskey from Dingle Distillery. We're going over the Wheel of the Year series. And the next one is Lala Bríde. So this is a single malt with a rye cask finish. They did not disclose on this one where they got the rye casks. They have another one that is a single pot still finished in Sagamore rye casks. That one I would like to get a hold of. Hey, cheers, Eric Gunderson. It is good to see you as always. James Morgan, cheers to you, sir. How you doing? Hey, cheers, Forlorn Hope. Welcome. Let me know what you guys are drinking in chat. I am going to pour this Lala Bríde single malt finished in the rye casks. Now, the last one was for winter, so of course this one is more for spring. And I'm going to butcher some of these words, I'm telling you. The Celtic Festival of Lala Bríde, also known as Imbolg, probably Imbolg, I'm sure I'm butchering the heck out of that, marks the arrival of spring and is a source of hope and joy for farmers. Calves and lambs are born, and the brighter days warm the soil and allow it to be worked. Bríde is set to visit the homes of those who honor her, bestowing her light and protection upon them. In Dingle, spring is a time for preparing land, sowing the crops, and the beginning of another cycle of growth. And on the back, they do talk about, in the spring, we take this at Dingle Distillery, we take this time to begin planning and crafting our hand-cut spirit. They talk about growing the barley and the rye. But this is celebrated on February 1st, this Lala Bríde in Dingle, between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It's one of the 4 Celtic fire festivals and celebrates new beginnings, which I think that's kind of cool. The box is actually really kind of cool that they give you like all this information about these festivals. And honestly, the whole concept kind of drew me in because it's a cool concept too. It's a cool concept to base a whiskey series on. So this is a little bit lighter. Oh, what you drink? You're having a Kinahan's cask project currently. All right, let's pour a little of this. Now this one, honestly, the rye part of it is what caught my eye. That's what really made me interested in buying this. I bought the first one because I thought, yeah, it's really cool. A whiskey for Solon. And I bought this one because of the rye. So they kind of sucked me in right off the gate. And I do like that they have made the little kind of the Renman a little bit more prominent. We could see that. Got a seam on there. Little Henman. They celebrate Ren Day. I think pretty sure it's the day after day after Christmas in Dingle. And it is, if you've never checked it out, check it. I'm telling you, this year, check out day after Christmas. Go and look up. It's called St. Stephen's Day or Ren Day in Dingle. And I mean, they all dress up in crazy costumes. They have a parade. And it's really, really neat festival to see. I try to always catch the live streams of it. Hey, Slapshot. Cheers to you, Slapshots Roadhouse. It's good to see you, Brian. Do you ever transfer half full bottles to smaller bottles when you know that you're not drinking them for a time? I don't do that, but like the Solon that's getting pretty low, I do. If it gets down to 2 ounces, I'll transfer that into a 2-ounce bottle just because I know it's going to stay a little longer. It's a little better seal. Especially the Tyrconnell. I lost like a third of a bottle of the 10-year sherry because the corks just, I don't know what it was about their old corks. They just didn't last. So I will do that if they get that low. Half a bottle. I try to remind myself to drink them, but honestly, when you get so much of it, you kind of you forget you forget you even have certain things, especially since these guys are usually on the top shelf. I usually right around the time, I'll tell you right around the time of the festivals, I'll start remembering I have them. So Celtic New Year, I'll remember that I have this all, and St. Bridget's Day, I'll remember. Oh wait, I have Lala Bríde. I need to get that down and drink it. Sipping on a Cosmopolitan wasn't my first choice. I used to drink the heck out of Cosmopolitans, and I think I killed myself on the Cosmopolitans, to be honest. So this one, it smells a little spicier. You do get those rye notes on here, but I mean, I'm still getting a lot of maltiness from the barley. Yeah, this is more fresh apple, little mint. This is a single malt also. Looking at the Dingle Circle of Life Bealtaine pot still, pretty expensive in Alberta for non-age stated. That one is our next pour. So you'll get a chance to see at least a little bit of it. How much? What's the price on it? I could tell you if it's comparable to what I paid. I can tell you, Peter, of the first four, the ones that I have, and even honestly, the second in the second batch in the series, Bealtaine has been one of the most popular. Now, if you go to Ireland, you can still find these. Some are more readily available than others. Bealtaine is going to be tougher to find. That was the most popular. That's a single pot still. The other three, you can still find them. I mean, I saw them at a liquor store there. So you'll still be able to find them. Woo, 100. What is that US? Convert that to US for me. Because it always seems a lot, and I know that the rates are different. This one, honestly, has been one of my favorite in the series because that rye cast stands up to the Dingle malt. That malt is just, it's something about the Dingle barley. It's very potent. It sticks. And this rye stands up to it. So you still do get the barley notes and those cereal malty notes, but you get all that rye spice, getting mint, getting green apple, a little bit of clove. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, that's a little high. I think I paid right around 100 euro. So it's a little high. If I had to pay that price for one of them, the Bealtaine is probably the one I would pick. Probably. I don't know. It's one of the couple that I do like. Hey, cheers, Stephen. Cheers, y'all. Just getting settled in at work. Well, cheers to you. Thank you for jumping in and say hi to everyone. I hope you have a good evening at work or day at work, depending on where you're located. So this one, if you're a rye fan, I do think you'll enjoy the Lala Bríde. It's a really pretty bottle. All of these, I will say, all these Dingle bottles are really, really nicely done. So when they went all in with this Wheel of the Year series, I mean, they went all in. They did really nice packaging, really nice design of these. They really did some research into what they were going to name them. It really was planned out, and each one is finished differently. So there's not a one of them that's alike. I think I stopped at, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was a tawny port finish, and that's the one where I'm like, I stopped buying them, mostly because there were just so many releases at the time that it was just, Irish whiskey releases are starting to get almost, I mean, we're not as bad as bourbon releases, but we're getting there to where there's just so many, you just finally have to pump the brakes and say, okay, I cannot get this one. And that was the way it was with this one with me. Also because I still do have some of batch 6 that's a ruby port. The entire maturation is ruby port. So, but this one that is Lala Bríde, it is good. If you're a rye finish fan, I think you'll enjoy it. It's really good. I like that it stands up to the Dingle whiskey. A little bit of spice. I love the spice at the finish on this too. Just a little bit of clove to balance it out. A lot of green apple. Vanilla. You get the vanilla. You still do get that maltiness, but it's not as pronounced as the first one. The sherry, that just made that thing just taste like cake. All right. Let's see which one is. I think this is this one. Yep. All right. Here you go, Peter White. So we're going to have Bealtaine. So this one is a Shiraz cast finish. This is a single pot still. So the first two that we had were single malt. This was the first single pot still in the series. Oh, sounds like me with this month's Whiskey Club release. We bought 6 bottles of the Causeway last month. Yeah, I went a little crazy with some of the releases. I know my Whiskey Club, the next release is a Clonakilty single pot still that the entire maturation has been in virgin oak. I'll be getting more than one of that. That one. I'm a Clonakilty fan. Hey, cheers, EMC. Hi, Emily. How are you doing? So we're going to try this Bealtaine. And the first thing you notice about this, and this, if you've watched, which I need to do another one, my Irish Whiskey Showdown, the last one with Adam and Jeffrey Weck, this was one of the ones they had. And you notice this color is very dark from that Shiraz cask. So this one, Bealtaine. Bealtaine celebrates the arrival of summer and the fertility of the soil, one of the 4 main seasonal fire festivals on the Celtic Wheel of the year. Bealtaine is traditionally marked with the lighting of ritual bonfires whose smoke was believed to both cleanse and protect healthy livestock. Dingle still celebrates Bealtaine at the beginning of summer, and it's one of the most vibrant times of the year on the west coast of Ireland. And I have seen pictures from their Bealtaine festivals. So it's actually celebrated on a couple of places in Ireland, from what I've seen pictures of. Yeah, that guy is whack. Hey, cheers, taste and sensibility. How are you doing today? It is good to see you. It's a worry we'd have to get Causeways to you, Donald and Matt. Donald's a tricky one living across the border. Obviously, you're welcome to store things at my house. You would not be the first or the last, my friend. I am often a stopping point for whiskey. So the Bealtaine bottle, the symbol is actually a nice little, looks like a daisy. Some kind of daisy flower, poppy, maybe a poppy. So this one of the series, so if you go to Ireland, if you're looking for these bottles in the series, this one's going to be the toughest to find. The single pot still was wildly popular. You still can't find it. I had a gentleman that was just over there in the past month and came home with a bottle. So you can still find them. It's just a little trickier. You might have to go, your big stores in Dublin, in Galway, you might not find them there. Now we have to go drinking with Donald's granny. I heard that is a hoot. I heard you guys had a great time. This one is interesting on the nose because it also drinks like heavy cherry, like dark black cherry syrup. And this one, that maltiness is not as pronounced. So the single pot still, if you're not a big fan of that super cereal maltiness, That's the single pot still might be the way to go with this one. I had looked it up at one point. I think it's a 50-50 unmalted malted barley. I honestly can't remember 100%, but I think that's what it is. In a Shiraz cask finish. Gorgeous. I will say this one has just absolutely gorgeous color. Gorgeous color on this. Or if you're in Alberta, if you find yourself in Alberta, probably a Kensington Wine Market, I have a feeling would be a place where you could find something like that. I love that place, Peter. That was actually a recommendation from a few people. And Kensington Wine Market was one of my favorite places to visit in Alberta. We visit in Calgary. That's how I ended up with a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society membership, was that place. Hey, cheers, Miracle Martinez. It was good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Let me know what you're drinking this Sunday afternoon, early evening. We are having some Dingle Bealtaine. Single pot still finished in a Shiraz cask. Nice, pretty dark red color. This one I don't go to the general consensus was this was everybody's favorite. It wasn't my favorite of the ones I have. It's good, but I didn't gravitate towards this one as much as everybody else. A lot of red berry on this one, but also a whole lot of spice. Between the single pot still and that Shiraz, there is a lot of spice on this. It was like spicy allspice. And it is also very drying. As you probably expect with red wine finishes, even with Irish, tend to get a little dry. And I actually enjoy that a lot of the times. This one, I think, it gets real dry. It's more so than, and honestly, kind of reminds me of the dryness that you get with maybe a Chateau Montelena, Green Spot Chateau Montelena, which I don't really get as much with the Layoval Barton or even the Quailsgate. This one, it gets dry. And if you don't mind that, then it's got a lot going on. It's got a lot of spice. That pot still spice really comes through big time. I think it kind of overrides the berry a little bit. You still do get some berry on this. You definitely still do get that cherry, almost like a cranberry. Yeah, kind of cranberry. And then vanilla. Yeah, any red wine can take over a whiskey. Has to be careful to be balanced. That is very, very true. It could get really, really tannic. BSW and craft cellars are both excellent as ship. Well, I was actually in Calgary, so yeah. I didn't have to ship anything. I was coming back. That was when I was coming back from Banff and flying out of Calgary, so I was able to hit that place. They also recommended a great pizza place down the street that does a Napoleon-style pizza, and it was really, really good. Oh yeah, I highly recommend. I loved Alberta. I liked Calgary. I really liked. We were actually at a conference in Banff, so we took the 1 hour Banff shuttle over to Banff. Banff is amazing. Amazing place. I know Trev Bourbon Ranch recently visited Banff as well, and he loved it. It's one of those places it's like a postcard in real life. It's crazy that's real. Yep. This one is not overly fruity. It is a little, it's not that it's tannic, because it's not tannic. No, it's not tannic. I know what you mean though. It's very dry. And it's just part of that. I mean, it is super spicy, which part of that is it's a pot still. But it's really drying on the finish. So I think it maybe was a little too long in there. But overall, that's been the favorite out of everybody. Everybody loves Bealtaine. We don't have any more seasonal dingles, so we moved on to a batch 6. I'll match you with a batch 6 after this next one. I still have some batch 5 and batch 6. So I can tell you, Amy, you'll like this story. So a while ago, when I first got batch 6, I actually did a review, and it was when I was still on Twitter. And I actually posted a review of the Wayward Irish Spirits Tawny Port versus the Dingle batch 6 that's entirely matured in Ruby Port. And I said, these are great, but I prefer Wayward Irish over it. And Faye Cool chimed in and had something to say about it. She actually commented on it. Well, did you know that ours is entirely matured in Ruby Port Cask? Like, sorry, Faye. That is the master distiller. Yeah, that's his wife, the master distiller's wife. I think he's master. Graham Cool, I think he's master distiller there. Yeah, it's very mineralic. Yeah, that's actually a great way of Dingle kind of in general, it's got that mineralic taste to it that I also get on Bushmill sometimes. And I think it is I kind of am leaning towards it's their water source. But I love red wine finish, spicy berry and all. You would love this. This would be right up your alley then. No way, I love Faye. Yeah. Faye kind of called me out on Twitter. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Faye. I love you. And Graham. Sorry. But I have to pick a favorite. Oh, is it open? Oh, thank you. I would love that. That's only about 15 minutes for me. 15, 20 minutes. I'm excited. I've been watching the news for that. I love the Goodfellas pizza. If you've not had Goodfellas pizza, if you get yourself to Kentucky, and I think is it only in Lexington or they have one in Louisville? It's some good freaking pizza. It's really good pizza. All right. So I'm going to bring up the last one here that I have in the new series. Now, this was a surprise for me. I was already into the series, so I picked this one up. But I really like this one. Oh, hey, Kilco. I know I got mine like a half hour before the stream. I hit 900 subscribers a half hour before the stream. Congratulations to you, Kilco. You've got 900 subscribers. I am going to be wrapped up by 7 p.m. so everybody can go jump over and congratulate Kilco in his stream. He's going to be going live tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to be pouring our last whiskey in here, which I don't know if you can hear my dog being a pouty pants in the corner. This one is called Lunasa. So we've already hit winter, we've hit spring, we've hit summer. So this is a fall whiskey. This one is a single malt Irish whiskey that has been finished in Widow Jane bourbon casks. Now, I was on it, this already matured in bourbon casks. What more? It's just you're just finishing it in another bourbon cask. But it's actually it really did a good job of balancing out that malt from Dingle. So I'm a Widow Jane, a little bit of a Widow Jane fan. So I was kind of excited about it. So this one says, Lunasa marks the end of the growing season and the beginning of an all-important harvest season. Lunasa is named after the Irish mythological god Lu and is said to have honored his foster mother, Tautui. Probably butchering the heck out of that too. According to legend, Tautui died of exhaustion after clearing Ireland's fields in preparation for farming. Lunasa is an evening of bonfires, feasting, and games, and is still known as a time for festivals and celebrations in Dingle and across the peninsula. I'm telling you, you really are into the Celtic calendar and Celtic festivals. Dingle's the place to go because they still celebrate all of them. It's very different part of Ireland. And it's so cool how they, still embrace the Gaelic culture. It's a really cool place. 10 outlets in 4 states, Lexington, Louisville, Covington, and they have 2 in Cincinnati. How the heck did I not know they have 2 in Cincinnati? Well, I know where I'm going next time I'm in Cincinnati. I was in Cincinnati an entire weekend. I could have had I could have been eating good pizza. I was not eating good pizza, Chris. I'm gonna remember that next time. Oh, thank you, Amy. Yeah, Kilco is at 905, looking to get that magic 1000. If you guys have not subscribed to Kilco Whiskey Musings, give him a follow, give him a sub. He is a great guy. I enjoy watching his channel. And I'm kind of a lead up into an evening on Whiskey Tube. Aw, thank you, Miracle Martinez. Good man, good man. Thank you, Amy. We're going to get you to 1,000, Kilco. How old is this one released and finishing? Lisa Ripper-Wicker is a friend of mine who was a master distiller until a couple years ago. They so the Dingle releases are non-age statement, and unfortunately on the bottle, yeah, it doesn't really say on the bottle. I could dig into it a little bit, Chris, and find out. I don't know when this released a year or two ago, so if she was still there then, she would have had something to do with the cast that they got. This one surprised the heck out of me. I really liked it a lot more than I expected. Hey, Joe. Cheers to you. Thank you. Yes. Everybody make sure that you're following this. So our good friend Andrew at ASMR Whiskey is doing a fundraiser for child diabetes. It is, I think he's going to have some giveaways. He's got the site set up to collect donations. So if you're in a position where you can donate, this is really close to Andrew's heart. I believe and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, that his child has diabetes. So you guys are all so generous all the time. And this is just a great cause. Joe, thank you for reminding everybody. And I'm going to keep posting up until the stream. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. And Joe is going to be coming onto my channel here in December. He is one of my Christmas guests. Or is it still? It's right around Thanksgiving. I'm going to send Joe a flight of Irish whiskey. And knowing Joe, I'm going to send some cask strength stuff. So we're going to see what Joe thinks of the stuff I send him. She knows how terrible I have to lie to them. Kilco, you're awesome and you know it. Yes, Kilco's parents have a GoFundMe to help them with their medical bills that they're all going through. Kilco, if you could post that link, I don't know if you're still here, if you could post that link. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. Oh, thank you, Steven. We all try to push each other up. Us little guys do. I try to push all the channels that are on tonight. Oh, thank you, Chris. I love, let me tell you, a friend from New York introduced me to Widow Jane. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Send him some Irene stuff while you're at it. Irene, so I'm working on Irene is going to be a guest on an upcoming stream. So I'm working on that too. Irene has got some of her Irish picks. So I'm real excited about that. Another stream I have, and let me make sure I have the date right for you guys because it's coming up soon. 24th. So November 24th is going to be my second annual Pachin Now after party. So we will have, once again, Francis Levy, who is the organizer of Pachin Now. It's the third annual Pachin Now festival in Ireland this year. He is going to be joining us from Ireland, and we're going to be talking about the festival. We're going to be talking about Pachin. If you ever had any questions about Irish Pachin, Fran is the one to ask. So that is going to be a whole lot of fun. My friend Lisa from A Dram Between is going to join us too. If she's able to, I think she's checking to make sure she's not traveling since it's close to Thanksgiving week. But she is going to be joining me. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. We had a blast last year. I picked up another couple bottles of Pachin when I was in Ireland a couple of weeks ago. So I am set for Pachin. It's going to be so much fun. I'm working on some other stuff coming up. I'm sending some other people some flights. I've definitely got to get some flights out this week. I've got a ton of them to send out. Try to organize my UPS pickup all for one day. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. Thank you. That's for the Kilco family GoFundMe. Like I said, if you're in a position, this is a time of year. If you can help this family's gone through a lot. And Kilco is just a great dude. He really is. Yeah. Fran is a whole lot of fun. I spoke with Fran this past week. He's like, I had a blast last year. I'm totally up for it, which I so love Fran for, because it's when I start, it's 11 p.m. Irish time, or actually I think it's 10 p.m. Irish time now. So now it's a little more reasonable, but not by much. But 10 p.m. on a Sunday night when they got to work the next day. So on the nose, this is a bourbon. It's a whole lot of vanilla. Vanilla, brown sugar, but you're still getting kind of like a baked apple coming through. Vanilla, it's vanilla, like baked apples and brown sugar and cinnamon. It is real sweet, but it's still baked apples, brown sugar, cinnamon, a little allspice. But it dials back that heavy maltiness, which is what I like. It balances that heavy maltiness out. And I think it's what I really appreciate about this one. I mean, it's nothing, you're not going to get any of these crazy different notes like you do the others, because they're the crazy finishes. It's just very straightforward, but it's just a really nicely balanced whiskey. I really do like this Lunasa from Dingle. This one is still available, I know, in several places in Ireland. So if you've got somebody going over there. Now, there were 4 others in the now, is this worth the money? There are 4 others in the series. I stopped at Lunasa. The next in the series is a single malt that was finished in tawny port casks. I stopped at that one. I did not pick that one up because there were too many releases at the time. I think the next Polaris from Two Stacks was releasing. I think there was a Cologne release at the time. This time of year, we also have the Capuchin charity bottlings that release. It's a big fundraiser for the Capuchin Day Center in Dublin, Ireland. They raise money for the homeless, to feed and clothe the homeless in Ireland. So they're, a lot of distilleries work with them, release bottles at this time of year. I picked up all, and I had to pass on that one. I've already got a port finished single malt Dingle. I passed on that one. Now, there is another one that released after that I actually do want in the series. There's been, I think, 3 more release. And that one is a single pot still, and it's finished in the Sagamore rye cask. That one I want. I still might pick up that one. There is also going to be kind of a final, kind of a wrap up to the series. And everybody's waiting for that because it's going to be a big deal. Nobody knows really what it is yet. So that is supposed to be coming up. I'm hoping it doesn't come before Christmas. It might be next year. I'm not organized for links right now. Oh yeah. You guys are all outstanding mods. And I knew somebody would jump in and grab it. You guys are all awesome, man. Cheers, everyone late to the party. Cheers, Mr. Mom 310. So we have just wrapped up with Dingle Lunasa. And I'm trying to empty a glass here. So, if I had to tell you one to buy in the series, based on just what I like, my favorite was the Lunasa. It's nothing, it's just finished in a Widow Jane bourbon cask. It's matured in a bourbon cask, but it balances that sweetness out a bit. Boy, you can tell I have a runny nose. My nose is all red. It balances that sweetness. It balances out that maltiness with the sweetness of the bourbon cask. It's just nice. It's just nicely balanced. The overall crowd favorite has been the Bealtaine, the single pot still finished in Shiraz. That's the one everybody freaking likes. So I would probably, between one of those two, like I said, if you like rye, the Lala Breed's good. Honestly, the Saw one's probably my least favorite. The first one is probably my least favorite. Still waiting for Stories and Sips to happen. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at as well. Stories, and for those of you who don't know, Stories and Sips is an Irish whiskey club. And the next release is a Clonakilty single pot still whiskey that's all version cast matured. The previous was a Ecklinville Dunville's 12 that was a Palo Cortado finish, very different Palo Cortado finish. And they're all cast strength. I mean, the vast majority are cast strength. Hey, cheers to you, Bourbon School. How are you doing, Brian? In the spirit of the stream, pouring a wee dram of Dingle Batch 5. I will join you. So we're going to compare. I still got a pour of a little bit of the Lunasa and Bealtaine, which were my top two. So we're going to compare that to this Dingle Batch 5. This is the original bottling. Camera, I don't want to focus. So this is a single malt. This is a marriage of bourbon, Pedro Jimenez, and Madeira casks. This was bottled at 46.5%. So we're going down a little bit in ABV. Now, Dingle, prior to this Wheel of the Year series, they did these batch releases. And they did it for their single pot still and for their single malt. So I'm curious to see what's going to come next. What are they going to do after this Wheel of the Year series? Because I think they only have one or two more. So we shall see. Oh, you poured a Dingle 5. You have the 5 and the 6, I think, Amy. I don't know if you have any of the others. I have not heard what Dingle's doing next. Dingle's a pretty popular distillery. It was one of the first to come back when the Irish whiskey renaissance has started. Their gin, they're known well for their gin. My friend is like a freaking hooked on their gin. Very sweet. There's a little bit of smokiness almost to this. Almost like you get the barrel char, which could be from all these different casks. It's a little bit nutty. Okay, so here's the problem. The rest of these are all between 50 and 51% ABV. And now I'm going back to 46. It drinks thin. That's so disappointing because it's a really good whiskey. But I like that they went up a little in ABV. This drinks a little thin. I mean, it's got a lot going on. It's nutty. It's chocolatey. And it's almost got a little bit of a cotton candy, which I get sometimes on a Madeira finish. So it's sweet, which the sweetness actually is balancing out that maltiness. That I'm not getting that heavy malty notes. They're not coming through as much as they come through on like the Solwyn. All right, so we're going to wash this out. We're going to try the batch 6. Now, the batch 6 has had the entire maturation in ruby port casks. Entire maturation. And the batch 6 was the last batch number that they had for these. That was the last one they did. And that's when they introduced the Wheel of the Year series was after this. So you can see, you definitely tell that's been in a port cask. And it's got actually really beautiful art on the back. These bottles are really gorgeous. I don't know if the batch 5 had that. Did the batch 5 have? I don't even remember some art on the back. Oh, yeah, it did. Holy cannoli. Yeah. Shows you how much I'm paying attention. So the bottles were really pretty. So the batch 6 is also 46.5% ABV. I'm betting this is going to drink thin too. So this is the one that got me in trouble with Faye Cool, the wife of the master distiller, she just reminded me, well, ours is entirely matured in ruby port casks. Sorry, I like Morris's better. I'm sorry. I'm working on setting up a stream with Morris O'Connell from Wayward Irish. He's been very, very busy right now, so we'll see if that materializes. If you have the opportunity to visit or to try Wayward Irish, highly recommend. So just lovely color on this. Oh yeah, you get total fig and raisins on the nose. Yeah, figs, plums, vanilla. Wow. Same on the palate. Fig, plum, more, not really raisin, more fig and plum, vanilla. Not really spicy, but again, because you're coming from these higher, and it's not that much of a difference, but it's drinking a little bit thin. All right, so I'm going to go back to the Lunasa. It's amazing. Just that small jump in ABV. It's a richer whiskey. It's an oilier whiskey. So if I would have to pick between the batch series and the new series, I would tell you go for the new series, because that little, I didn't honestly expect that little bump up in ABV to make that big of a difference, but it honestly does. It makes a big difference. I think the better, unless you can get a really good deal on these batch series, which, I mean, neither is going to be made again. So that's the one thing. Whether you get the batch, whether you get the new Wheel of the Year series, neither of them is going to be made again. So if it's something that sounds, interesting to you, I'd go ahead and pick them up. But I'm kind of gravitating. I would not have thought that small bump up in ABV would have mattered that much between, 46, what did we say, 46.7, 46 and a half to 4 points, 10 proof points. But it made a big difference. It really did. Well, we're about wrapped up here. So don't forget Thursday. I have my blind challenge with at Freedom Malts. It's on their website. I'll make sure to share it again so everybody knows about it. I'll share it again. I shared it. I'll share it again on Thursday. I've got coming up on the 24th. Yeah, make sure that's right. Yes, the 24th is our second annual Pachi Now after party. So we're going to have Fran Levy, who is the founder of Pachi Now. He's going to be my special guest. He's going to be joining us from Ireland. Then on December 1st, I have got Independent Joe joining my live stream, drinking some Irish whiskey with me. I'm going to send Joe some good stuff. I've already got it. I haven't poured it yet, but I know what I'm going to send him. I already got that in mind. And then I'm working on a couple other things. So make sure you jump over, and at 7 o'clock tonight is Kilco Whiskey Musings. He's celebrating 900 subscribers. At 7:30, we have Bourbon Neophyte. He's going to be doing a pour of a new whiskey tonight. At 9 o'clock is Livewire Whiskey. So I will see you guys all next week. You all have a good rest of your week, and thank you for joining. Slàinte.